What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to a rather disappointed Anfield Agenda player ratings today. We're going to go through, as always, the referee, the players, the substitutes, and our manager, giving them all a score out of 10. If you've already joined and played along, you will see the average score in the upper right-hand corner of each player card, and the large square in the centre is my score. If you want to give us your thoughts in the comment section, as always, we do appreciate your feedback on the performance and anything else you'd like to discuss with today's game. If you want to submit your player ratings in the future to be included in the video, make sure you're in the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp community. Scan the QR code in the bottom right-hand corner, and I'll be back tonight at 9 o'clock for the late night agenda, where we get a chance to really pick the bones out of another disappointing display. I'm going to go through now, folks, and start with the referee first. Look, I have to talk about the collective here of all the officials, because as Arna said, 13 seconds before the assistant's flag went up after Virgil's header. Why do you think that might be? It's because what he was hearing in his ear. And Michael Oliver, once again, stuck his nose in where it doesn't belong. There was nothing wrong with that goal. The man is an absolute shit show. Go back to many other games that Liverpool and Manchester City play, and that man is at the scene of the crime. Now, I don't want to sit here and say that's the reason we lost the game. We lost the game because Manchester City were the better team. But once again, it's shown that Michael Oliver is not fit for purpose, and you don't have to just listen to Liverpool fans on this. I'm sure United fans, Arsenal fans, and others will all have their own thoughts on it. So overall today, a 4 for the officials, and I think that's being generous, because look, ultimately Kavanagh was told what to do in his ear. What really wound me up was that he didn't send Kavanagh over to have a look at the Robbo incident. He was quick enough to send him over for the penalty, but once again, for us, when it's subjective, it's let's listen to Michael Oliver shaft Liverpool. So 4 from me and a 2.2 from the audience. Next up, Georgi Mamardashvili, who had a huge save from the penalty that should have sparked Liverpool back into some type of form. He was very unlucky with the goal that ricocheted off Virgil van Dijk. Somebody said to me, Craig, could he have done better for the Haaland header? No, in all honesty, because it's past him before he can do anything, and that was on KONATE losing the track of the ball and not winning that header. So for me, Georgie today, I don't think he did anything incredible, but I also don't think he was the reason we didn't play well or anything. So I'm giving him a score of 5.5, and the audience have gone for a 5.7. Connor Bradley, look, he had a difficult day today. Jeremy Doku deservedly won man of the match, and it'll be a learning experience for Connor Bradley. He's a young fullback still learning his game. We've seen what he did against Vinicius Jr., and we know what he's capable of. He will have a very good future at this club, but he is learning. I would say today he didn't get enough protection as well, particularly from Mohamed Salah. No interest to track back and help him out. It was Gravenberch or Szoboszlai getting across at times to try and help him with Doku. So I'm not going to hold Bradley to account here, because it was up against a very good opponent who did deservedly win the man of the match. So I'm giving Bradley a 5, and the audience have gone for a 5.2. But I got to reiterate, I have nothing but belief in Connor Bradley. Next up, a man that I have no belief in whatsoever, and that is Ibrahima Konate, who once again showed us that he just couldn't be bothered today. You may disagree with me. You may think I'm being over the top. You're entitled to your opinion, but my opinion is this man is playing like he doesn't give a damn. Watch the incident with Haaland for the header. More interested in grabbing his arm than he is about jumping at the right time to win the ball. He was ahead of Haaland. He underjumped the ball because he was too busy wrestling. The penalty incident, that comes because he can't clear a ball. He plays it straight into Doku and Bradley, which led to the penalty incident. Then for the goal that Jeremy Doku scored, if you're a City fan, you're saying, good strike, well done, fair enough. If you're a Liverpool fan, once again, Konate not willing to go out and block, not willing to put his body on the line, lazy and not good enough. So Konate gets a 3, and he gets a 2.7 from the audience. Across from him, our captain, Virgil van Dijk, who should have had himself a goal today. I thought he bit his tongue very well after the game to not really complain about that. But ultimately, the players aren't performing. And it's up and down, up and down. And I can't get away from that 40% stat. We have lost 40% of the games we've played. Not draws, lost 40% since PSG. That is unacceptable at this football club. Virgil van Dijk today was okay, but his partner alongside him is shambolic. Today I'm giving Virgil a 5, and the audience have gone for a 4.5. But again, I don't like the lack of physical leadership in the team. We should be snapping into challenges. We're too passive out there right across the team. On the left side, Andy Robertson. I thought he did okay today, in all honesty. We were second best all around the park, and I have to keep reiterating this because I don't want to sound like a broken record about Oliver. City deserved to win the game. No qualms about that. Robbo, was it a game too far in this little period? I don't know, but ultimately I don't think it was down to him that we lost, so I'm giving him a 5.5. And the audience have gone a bit lower with a 4.6. I think if you're talking about where the damage was done to us today, it was more on the other side of the pitch, which is why I went a bit higher there for Robbo. Into midfield. Ryan Gravenberch, I struggled with a bit today, to be honest, to give you a fair assessment of what I'd seen. So my score could be a little bit off, and if it is, I understand you picking me up on it. I don't think we lost the midfield battle today, but I don't think we won it either, if that makes too much sense. So I'm going to give him a score of 5, but I'm open to be corrected on that, and then a 4.5 from the audience. There's always one player every week that I struggle with immediately after the game to give a score to, and today it was Ryan Gravenberch, so I'll have to watch it back to get a better reflection of it. Alexis McAllister in the middle of the park, and again, was it one game too far for him? He has looked more like himself in recent weeks. And look, I love Alexis McAllister. Always happy to have him in the midfield. I can understand why Arna went with the same midfield again today, but whatever else changed, we just didn't look at it. So for me, a 5.5 for Alexis, and the audience have gone lower with a score there for Alexis of 4.2. Moving along now to Dominic Szoboszlai, one of the few bright sparks for us this season. But even today, look, he had a shot from distance saved. I think the only shot we had on target in the whole match, saved by Gianluigi Donnarumma. And never hides out there on the pitch. Always looks to make something happen. Always looking to drive forward. Willing to get back and defend as well. So for me, I'm going to give Dom a score of 6 today, which is one of the highest scores I've given out. And the audience have gone for a 5.6 for Mr. Szoboszlai. Florian Wirtz, it was ineffective today. There's no arguing about that. But is it a system thing? Is it a him thing? Or is it a mix? Ultimately, same 11 that started against Real Madrid, but a far different performance and a far different outcome. And Wirtz wasn't able to get into that game today. We have to find a way to get this kid into the position he feels most natural in and can impact the game the most in. I'm not going to go hard on Florian because I think he will come good, and I'm convinced of it. But today, ineffective, so a 4 from me and a 4.9 from the audience. Again, I think my 4 is more than fair because I do think he'll come good over time, but I call it as I see it, and today I didn't think he was very good at all. Salah, shocking. Nothing else to add. Shocking. Wasn't willing to get back and help out Bradley, or was under instruction not to, but either way, not good enough. On the other side, lots of possession, but again, wasteful. Should have scored a goal today. Should have had another couple of chances as well that he just managed to fluff. His distribution wasn't good enough. And all in all, unfortunately, this looked more like the Salah we'd seen for the previous few weeks than the Salah we'd seen over the last week. So today, it's a 4 for me from Mo, and it's a 3.5 from the audience. Do let me know in the comments, though, whether you agree or disagree. Next up, Ugo Ekitike. It's a tough one here because I don't know how I'm judging Hugo Ekitike. Am I judging him on his goals and assists return, or am I judging him more along the lines of a Bobby Firmino? I'd like to think it's the second because he doesn't look like he's going to be prolific, but then again, we do want the goals spread around. He never lacks an effort, and he never hides on the pitch. So I think today, again, just part of a team that wasn't functioning, but I'm not going to say Ekitike was a fault for it. He honestly works his socks off every time he plays. So it's a 5 from me and a 4 from the audience. I just don't know whether he's ineffective because of the system or he's still trying to find his way in English football. But today, he was pretty ineffective. Milos Kerkez understood the substitution, wanted a bit more energy down the left, maybe a bit more attacking threat. But it didn't really change anything when he came on. So, again, unfortunately, I'm going to give him a 5 because he wasn't at fault with the result. But still hasn't been playing well enough, so I think a 5 is fair. The audience have gone lower with a 3.9, which I think is harsh for a substitute, to be honest, but 5 for me and a 3.9 from the audience. Cody Gakpo, again, I'm not going to be Captain Hindsight. I've no problem with Wirtz starting the game. When Gakpo did come in, we've seen a little bit of everything from him. Some of the good, some of the bad, some of the cutting inside and taking too much out of it. But again, not his fault we lost that game, and I'm going to give him a score of 5.5 because I do think at least he looked to make some things happen and cause more issues than we did see with Wirtz. So for 5.5 from me and a 4 from the audience. Curtis Jones, didn't do anything really to change it when he came on. I always hear the same about Curtis. He won't hide and not look for the ball. He's not going to disappear out there on the pitch, but at this point the whole performance was a shambles and he wasn't going to be able to rescue it himself either. So it's a 5 for Jones because I'm trying to be fair, and a 4.1 from the audience. Joe Gomez, another one. I mean, very difficult to gauge this. He came on, I think, with 7 minutes to go, if I'm not mistaken, at a time where the substitution was only meant to protect the legs of the people that were taken off and not to change the game or give some encouragement to the players that were coming on. And I feel like that's really unfair. You brought on Federico Chiesa with 7 minutes to go because you didn't want Wirtz's legs to go, not because you thought Chiesa could change the game. I find it disrespectful, and the same towards Joe Gomez. I find it disrespectful to him. So I've given Joe a 5 because, like I said, 7 minutes, what are you going to do? And the audience have gone there for a 4.2 for Gomez. And then Chiesa, I'm quite simply disgusted. I'm going to keep saying it. Arne has something against him, and nobody will convince me otherwise. And what really annoys me as a Liverpool fan is it's costing us options in attack. We brought in Isak, who's been injured and struggling to get up to full speed. Then you've got Rio Nguemo and Chiesa, who the manager just won't play. So what's the point? Yes, with Rio Nguemo, you know it's because he's still a young player and he's coming through. But not wanting to block a pathway while going through an entire season with no option for Gakpo, it's not good enough. And Chiesa's treatment has been nothing short of disgusting. And honestly, the reason I'm going to give him a score of 8 is because how he hasn't turned around and screamed in the face of the manager at this point, and how he keeps being a model pro and smiling, deserves some type of recognition. So I'm giving him an 8 because he is a better man than me, because if I was being treated the way he is, I wouldn't be shutting my mouth. So that's why he's getting an 8 from me, 4.8 from the audience. And the manager, look, any manager at any era of this football club that has overseen 40% of the losses since that PSG game to now over 2 different seasons, where $500 million spent and still looking so far off it, needs to have answers. Now, he is walking a tightrope at the minute. Wherever you are in the Arne in, Arne out, and for what it's worth, I'm still Arne in, but I'm clinging on. We ran a poll today during the watch along. 54% were Arne out, 46% were Arne in. So at best, it's a coin flip here. But again today, no solutions, no aggression from the team. And what is our identity? That's what I keep coming back to. The turning point for me is if I think the players have stopped playing for him. Some people think they already have. I'm not sure, but I want to know your thoughts on it in the comment section. For me, Arne gets a 4, and that's probably a generous 4. And it's a 2.8 from the audience. But make no mistake about it, these issues Slot needs to sort out. It can't go on indefinitely. Everybody will have a different tipping point. For me, it'll be when the players look like they've given up. And I don't think I'm too far away from waving that white flag myself. But for now, I'm just about clinging on Arne in, because I said this week, if he loses 2 of the 3, I'll say it's time to go. He's won 2 and lost 1. But it's the manner of the loss that I think is really sticking in the throat of Liverpool fans. So that is it for the player ratings video, folks. As I said, I'll be back tonight at 9. Over to you now to have your say. And as always, thank you for your support. We'll see you soon. Much love.